he's a murderer. Anybody who doesn't believe in what he believes needs to be dead. And he's shown that. So, the thing that we're doing is we're lucky we got Israel over there that's not just taking up for us, not just trying to help us. He's trying to help Saudi Arabia, all those countries. And, they're taking the hit for it. And if we're supplying them weapons, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. Because, we've been saying this, and the Biden administration let them continue to work on this bomb to get within almost a month or two of being complete. Cut their sanctions off. Let the money flow back into them. Give them money to do all this. These people are horrible people. Not the people that live in Iran, but the people that are in charge of Iran. They're horrible people. And, and they got all the money. The people in Iran, they're basically poor. And they've got all the money. And we've allowed them to get the money. Two administrations have fed them money. And instead of doing, you've got to get these people out of there. And, we're not wrong. We don't usually go into battle for regime change. But I can guarantee you right now, there would be no more happier people in the world than Iran, Israel, and America if there was a regime change and went back to Congress. And I think the people in Iran would love that. Okay. So, we're fighting a person that says death to America, death to Israel. And he means it. And he's stupid enough and crazy enough, and we know that if he gets a use of weapons, he will fire it. He's that crazy. And, I think, this is all this nuclear stuff on the ground, that we're going to have to get involved because we have the weapons that can blow the tunnels up. And Israel doesn't. And so, we don't want to put any people in there. But we got some soldiers over there. We got some ships over there. So, I think we're doing the right thing. Israel's being heroic in my point to take the hit for this and going over there destroying this stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think that the religious part of it, that religion is the type of religion that basically says, you don't agree, but I say you take. Mm-hmm. All right. We'll kill it.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
2229224. I think we're doing the right thing, too, so far. What we've done is we have supported Israel, and Israel is dealing with the situation, and I agree. There are literally dozens and dozens of countries all around the world going, ooh, thank you, Israel, because Israel is fighting back. They're doing... It's like Netanyahu said in a speech, we're doing the dirty work. And that's what they're doing. So far, keeping the United States in a support role, not in a direct involvement role, has been the right thing to do. Where we go from here is what we're talking about. But I think when you go after, and I don't disagree with any of the things that Barry just said, none of them. These people, the people that say death to America and death to Israel are horrible people. Whether they're religious or not doesn't matter. But there is a group of people in the world, not just there, that if you blow up the imams, they're coming after you anyway. So if you don't do that, but you stop all the nuclear weapon stuff and get them to the negotiating table by doing it the way that Israel is doing it now, I think it's the best way. 2229224, 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. If you want to create a winning image for your team while keeping your employees safe and productive, then UniFirst can deliver for you. That's right. Every UniFirst uniform program includes comfortable workwear.
They got a lot more in the state of California, Vasco. We already know that you can steal up to $1,000 and ain't nobody gonna come after you. Now, I don't know how many times you get to steal that 1,000 or merchandise up to 1,000. But you know, we watched in those riots out there when they was doing their thing outside. Group of people that was doing their thing inside. It was looting, robbing, and probably hurting people. You know, well, you know, you're not peaceful anymore. But now here, hear this. Now you got a governor, and you got a mayor. That'd be like the mayor of Graham down here. Let's use that for an example. If she just stands back and watches somebody go into the cafe and steal all the pots and pans in a restaurant or the ice cream shop or whatever that they own down there in Graham, I don't know how much it is, but it's right much, I think. So if they break in down there and steal some of her stuff, she's going to be up and on. She's going to be infuriated about all that stuff. But if she don't do nothing about it, then she's just like them. Well, if we got people in Alamance County that have broke into our country, and they running around rapid, doing different things, they're illegal to start with, and then how they got driver's license, I don't know. How they get insurance, I don't know. How they end up with a car, I don't know. How they end up with a house, I don't know. But I mean, somebody is supplying them with them products. Now, when you sell an illegal house, you do all this paperwork and everything. You know, you're supposed to know who everybody is when you sell them a car. Is it legal to sell an illegal a car? Is it really legal? We don't know. Ain't nobody told us. So when you looking at all that and you selling them cars for a profit, you know, because you're making good money, you don't care where the money comes from. You just selling the car. Or the car could end up being a gun. When they run over somebody and kill them, and they didn't have the driver's license to drive away and all that stuff, then you sold somebody, if they kill somebody with that car, then you might as well say you sold sold somebody a gun. You know, you didn't pull the trigger, but you knew it. You know, who do you hold accountable?
White people, they the scum on the earth. They started all the problems with the earth.
First girls that let them in, or the rest of them down the line. Now, where does it start at, Harry?
White
where
people.
Does it stop at, Harry?
Racist white people.
It should start and stop in the legislature of the state of North Carolina. Or you were talking about California. It should start and stop in, you know, the legislature in the state of California should pass a law that says you can't steal $1,000 worth of stuff and not have any consequences. That would pass those laws. In the state of North Carolina, if, you know, right now, if you were to sell someone a car, you don't have to ask what their immigration status is to sell somebody a car. So it's not illegal to sell somebody who's here illegally a car. You're not doing anything like that. But maybe the state of North Carolina, if they believe that we have a bad enough immigration problem, maybe they should make it illegal for people who are here illegally to purchase houses or cars. Maybe that's where it needs to start, with the legislature.
Well, and you're absolutely right. That's what they should do. But they're not doing anything.
They haven't done anything yet. It hasn't gotten bad enough to suit them yet. See, that's what.
Well, every time. Okay. Well, every time they want to raise our taxes, do they take anything away? Are they taking anything away from social services? You know, there's a lot of things Alamance County probably has that we we don't really.
Well, just remember this. One of the reasons why the legislature, the states across the country or North Carolina don't do this is because when an illegal person is allowed to buy a house, they begin to have to pay taxes on that house. And the people that are in the municipality, they think to themselves, well, it doesn't matter that they're here illegally. I want that tax money that they're going to pay for that house. Because once you sell someone who is here illegally a house, they still have to pay the taxes on it. So until it starts hurting, that's when the legislature gets involved. Listen, I appreciate it. You have a good day. Enjoy the conversation. Thank you. 222-9224.
All right.
Good.
I've heard some rich stuff on this station this morning. The last caller, he wonder why a legal can buy a truck. Greenback dollars. That's what the merchants want, the people who sell things in America. They don't give a D word. Who you are, where you from, or your status. If you got those green dollars, that's what they're about. And as far as the legislature goes, who do you think they're going to listen to? The man who's selling the cars, renting the houses, selling the houses, or the people complaining about it? They're going to listen to people who are selling, because that's who support them, that's who donate to their campaigns. And we waited. Look, you don't wait until the country's saturated with illegals before you do something. They should have passed comprehensive legislation in the first place before the continent became overrun with illegals. Right here on this station, 20, 30 years ago, Tim Sutton was the only person calling in warning about what's happening right now. WBAG was really the best friend illegals had in Alamance County. Bill Huff goes every day saying, we need illegals because Americans are too lazy to work. He said it every day. There's been illegals calling this station. And Bill invited them to call. Nobody's saying anything. Now the country's saturated, overrun. Everybody want to get rid of them. Too late. Too late. The people who, look at all the growth in Alamance County. Look at all the illegals are here. They're not going anywhere. You want to know why? Because the people who sell things are not going to stand for it. We just saw the President of the United States a couple of days ago say, lighten up on the farm workers, lighten up on the hospitality workers. Why? Because he's in the hospitality business. Hotel workers, Trump is in the hotel business. He don't want to get rid of those illegals. He wants to switch focus and get rid of illegals in Democratic controlled big city.
That's right. That's right.
He's going out to Democratic cities, take the spotlight off hospitality workers and farmers. That's not going to work either. Because if you want to get rid of illegals, you're going to get rid of illegals. No matter where they work, what part of the country they live in, you go after the illegals. I've never been for illegals to be accepted. I thought they should have got rid of illegals a long time ago, stopped them from coming in because they was taking jobs from Americans. But that didn't happen. And like I said, as long as people are selling things, the next time you get friends at the shop boys, next time you sit down talking to the shop boys, you ask them, would they go along with legislation that illegals can't buy cars? And I guarantee you they will tell you, if if they are being candid, what they would tell you. And I just heard Barry talking. I disagree with everything he said. Everything. Israel is a thug nation run by thugs. And they are murdering people. We can see everybody say, look at the women and children and old people they're killed in Gaza. Genocide. And the reason they get away with it, because America still feels guilty of what happened in World War II when they was against the Jews or shipped into our shores 900 Jews, and we turned them away. They had to go back to be slaughtered because America would not take them. We were anti-Semitic, and now we are head over heels. Now the Jews can't do anything wrong, all because of the guilt and the Jewish vote in America. Some presidents understand that the Jewish vote in America is more important than the Arab vote. So they're not going to do anything to get in the way of that Jewish vote. The Jews, like I said, the Jews are murdering, and the only reason we are going along with what Trump's doing in Iran, or what the Jews are doing in Iran, is because of the oil. We want the oil. We've only been friends with Iran since the days of the Shah, because we wanted the oil. And as far as Barack Obama giving back the money, he did the right thing. You can't take people's money. And Trump just said a couple of days ago, sanctions are a two-way street. When you put sanctions on other places, you stop and trade from the United States. Like we have sanctions on Cuba. That means the people of the United States cannot sell stuff to Cuba. The United States will lose the money. The people here who sell things will lose the money because they can't sell to places with sanctions. And sanctions cause people to leave their country and flood America. That's why we got people from Venezuela here. Look at the sanctions on Venezuela. They come here. And when they come here, we have a Venezuelan head up their local Republicans. And I think Johnson still employs some down there. That same guy who's head of the Republican, he was working for the Sheriff's Department. Yes, we got people from all those countries. We have sanctions on in the United States. Some of them are probably on welfare, holding jobs that Americans could have. We are blind, and the people like Barry and the last caller are brainwashed. They don't understand what's going on. What's going on in the Middle East? And I heard him call the rulers of Iran murderers. Well, look at you think Trump haven't murdered anybody? Look at the murders he caused for the places he bombed. And the people and the murders he condoned, like we're bagging Israel up, and they're committing genocide, killing people by the thousands. Every day we see women and children killed in the Gaza Strip. We set up places to feed them, to come and get food, and when they come there, Israel fires on them and kills thousands of people coming to get food. Children, women, men, some of them so hungry, they barely drag themselves to the feeding places, and then they get fired on and murdered. And the people are talking about those people. You better look at the murderer. You better look at the real murderers. It's America, Donald Trump, and Israel. Netanyahu's a war criminal. They're waiting for him at The Hague.
All right.
I wish they would catch him and execute him, because he's nothing but a murdering thug.
All right. Appreciate it.
And just the last thing.
All right.
They're not God's people. They're the devil's people.
Exactly.
Appreciate it. Thank you. 2229224. I thought that Israel were thugs. Are they perfect in the things that they do? No, absolutely not.
They are not God's original true people. They are the fake
unless they get
true
messed with
people.
first. This whole thing about
That's been
what's
switched
going on in
out.
Gaza didn't have anything to do with what Israel did. It had to do with what Hamas did.
I agree with everything Big Ed said, except the last part that the Jews were the devil's people. I don't think any whole group of people can be classified as anything. As Jim Jones compares, says all Democrats are dynamic and the guys who don't like Mexicans to have trucks. You know, a whole lot of people say Democrats are, all Democrats are dumb and this thing. I don't think they're smart, and I think he's too smart to say stuff like that. I think he may just get revved up because he hear all this all the time, especially from Jim. But remember, if you do know your Bible, it was the Jews who, although God showed his miracles and through Moses and the things that he did, got trapped at the Red Sea, and they still questioned God. And then when they got them out of Egypt, they built a idol of gold. So that's why they had to walk around, because God punished them for that. So, you know, this thing where they are absolutely innocent of everything, I think that's what he was saying, and he's 100% correct on that. Also, just like any group of people, like we are, in my opinion, where we are right now, we are led by an imbecile and a person who basically claims the power so he can stay out of prison. That's what Netanyahu is doing. Netanyahu wages wars to stay out of prison. They have to put off elections because the war is going on. But Netanyahu war has turned against him when he stopped that food from coming into Gaza. His own country has turned against him. Even former prime ministers have said that what he was doing was morally corrupt. So then he bummed Iran to say we got to get away with them. Now, let me say this. I heard I'm gonna try to answer some of the stuff that was said yesterday, but not much. But I do have to say this. The Confederate catman, whatever y'all call it, said that when I come on the air, that he don't listen and his friends don't work in the yard. First of all, what can you do in the yard for 5 minutes and you come back and listen to the radio? That's so stupid on the face of it. But he seems to know everything I say and criticize it at some point. For him not to for him to turn it off and go do something else. That's another. Grandma told me not to call him about a lie, but that's something that everybody else would call a lie, but my grandma told me not to do. So, and then he talked the other day, he talked about if anybody come and protest in his yard, why would anybody want to protest in a man's yard that has to go on a Saturday night, watch a cotton mill burn down for his entertainment, and can't keep him and his wife warm because he can't afford to turn the heat above 65 degrees? Why would anybody want to protest? What reason would they have? That's just so stupid. Now, the stuff that has been said today, first of all, Barry, again, that's why he can't get elected here in Alamance County. He never gets his facts right. When was Iran a democracy? It has been led by the Shah and the Shah family for generations. His father took power in 1925 to 41. The Shah took power from 41 until he was overthrown in 79. And he was not overthrown because they were a democracy. He was overthrown because he was a thug. He had prison just like North Korea that he put his any of his political enemies in. My friend and my doctor actually was in Iran and was awarded by the Shah because he's a scientist over there. He's now a doctor over here. But Barry totally got that information wrong. And he did history.
other than saying that they were democracy. But they were pro-Western, which means that they worked with Western countries, which a lot of Muslim countries at the time, and the Shah was different in that. That's why when they overthrew him, Jimmy Carter was great friends with him and was going to give him exile here. But of course, there was some objections here because of his cruelty toward people, and he died in Egypt. So he didn't do his homework again there. But then he did a good, kind of a good job. Instead of saying this one little piece. In the Obama administration, there was this thing called the Joint Contract for JCPOA, I think that was it. But what it was the Iran nuclear deal. It told Iran, you dismantle, totally dismantle. And we send our inspectors to make sure you dismantle. You dismantle all your nuclear things, and we will work with you. And they did not pay for that. The money that was released to Iran was their own foreign asset that was frozen from sanctions. We didn't give them no money. That was their own asset. But the key to this is, whether they got the assets or not, or whether we gave them money or not, but we did not. They were their own foreign assets. The key was the nuclear deal was dismantled. It was dismantled by Trump. Because when he came into office, he didn't want nothing that Obama had done. He tore up the thing about diseases and how to fight those. That's why we had 1 million people that died. And he also tore up the Iran nuclear deal. So therefore, Iran said, well, screw this. I got the money, which was the dumbest thing, and y'all called him the great negotiator. They already had the money, and now they was free from the deal, so they could use the money to build centrifuges back up. So this is Trump's issue. And now what is he saying? Y'all need to start a nuclear deal. How dumb is that? But he knows he can say this stuff to MAGA because they're not going to do any research, because research is a dirty word, and they're not going to do any, they don't remember any of this stuff, so they didn't pay attention to any news. They pay attention only to Fox, a narrative-driven thing, and they only pay attention to the great leader. And you have the one that calls them our great leader, our great leader. It sounds kind of cultish to me. And then you have the guy that calls in that don't like Mexicans to have anything nice, which goes back. There was a story that my grandmother used to tell, that there was a man that had a brand new Packard, black guy, in the 40s. And he was killed because some white people did not think he should have a better car than they did. That's the guy. He's living back in the 30s. But then he wants to talk about, but that's between him and his God and his sickness he has to deal with. But then he says that house people just steal $1,000 worth of goods. That is absolutely incorrect. There is a code called the California Penal Code 459.5. Again, I don't want nobody to believe me on this station because they don't. I want you to go look it up. 45.9. And what it says is if you steal under $1,000, it's a misdemeanor, which most misdemeanors like jaywalking here in Alamance County. You're not going to go to prison for a misdemeanor. So if most states have it, the great state, and I'm sure he would think this is a great state, the great state of Alabama has the same thing. Only the difference is theirs is $500. So if you steal $500 in Alabama, you're not going to prison. It's the same thing in California. But in California, in 2024, Gavin Newsom created another law that made it a felony. He amended the law, which made it a felony. That if you did steal, instead of getting off with a misdemeanor and go and steal another, you will actually go to prison for this because he made it a felony. He ain't gonna do any research on that. He just is being told what the right was telling him, and then he gets on here and babbles it some more. Right. Now, one thing I do agree with Bill Huff, I agree with him on a lot of things, because he said the only thing that's gonna stop racism is a couple more trips to the cemetery. I remember he said that. I thought that was kind of hard, but as near as I live, long as I live, I see it's true. But he said, I do believe that the American people are lazy. I believe the American people are stupid, not all, but a lot proud of because we had to be stupid to elect Donald Trump twice.
That's the truth.
Because I never voted for him. But then
Me
there's other
neither.
things that we do. And I do believe that we're amazing. Right now in Louisiana, not one person that looks like me or looks like you is going to go out there and pick the blackberries that are now suffering, and that blackberries are going to go up because they have put out a law, not a law, that the farmers have put out something that said, guess what? Come and pick blackberries $11 an hour. What teenager that looks like me or you, or what adult that looks like me or you, is going to go pick blackberries in the field for $11? Those people are gas because they said they raised that amount. The people that were picking them before was not even making $11 because they were here legally. And I thank Speaker X for saying this right here. He stated, why all of a sudden now, the great leader, as some of y'all call it, the great leader has now said that we're going to not focus on the farming. We're not going to focus on the illegals on the farm. We're not going to focus on the illegals in hospitality. We just going to focus on the Democratic-led state. You know why? Because he doesn't have any Trump Towers in blue state. Because, they will go out of business like some of his other businesses have. So that's why he's going to say we're going to focus on those. But his main voters, the farmers, the people who are hiring these people, the people in hospitality who are losing their businesses and talking about having to close down hotels and restaurants, because those people who do this work is not people that look like me and you.
Okay.
They're the people that the Confederates don't want to buy trucks, even though they're working from Americans, getting American dollars from Americans who are hiring them to do work that Americans won't do. But he can go into a restaurant and harass somebody and tell them that they are illegal. How does he do that? He's got great power.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. 222-9224. 222-9224.
Listening to conversation that Michael Graves and I guess the guy's named Charlie, they call in. These two guys call in. They call in on corrections. They're trying to correct the misinformation, the things that said wrong. That's what I hear them calling in doing. And it boggles my mind why people will continuously call in and say things that they know that's not right, and they call in and they try to give you facts, they try to give you understanding, and it's almost like it's a waste of time trying to give out truth on this station. I mean, I hear truth and documents to back up what's being said, but instead of believing what's been said with backup on that, that's not wanted on this show.
Well, that's not true. We don't reject anybody's opinion. Anybody who wants to talk on the show, anybody can say what they want to say. Nobody's telling you can't do that.
Let me say this, because you do it so many times, and I know your feed. It always goes to opinion. I'm not talking about opinion.
But see, that's the problem. You are talking about opinions. You have an opinion that this thing is exactly right, and that what somebody else said was wrong. That's your opinion. You say, no, it's not an opinion, it's a fact. No, people look at the facts and come up with different opinions. That's just the way the world works.
So what you're telling me is fact is not true.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that you... No, I'm not saying that at all. I am saying that someone, that you said that people give you facts. Okay, let's say Michael, in his last conversation, gave us some facts. Okay, that's cool. Well, what you do, how you form how you go through life is you take the facts and you decide what those things mean to you.
Exactly.
Now, I can say that I think you're wrong, but that's my opinion. You can tell me that I'm wrong, and you can say, well, wait a minute. What I'm telling you is what you're saying, and I believe that. That is a fact, and I believe it's true 100%. Well, there's going to be somebody else that disagrees with that. And you're going to say, well, I'm right and they're wrong. Well, that may be true, but that's not the way it works. Everybody is entitled to their opinion in America.
And I call on this show so many times, and it's like beating a drum with no head on it. Just like what I just stated. You're trying to, in a sense, saying that facts don't matter.
No, as I said this for the second time, I have said absolutely not. Facts do matter, 100%. But somebody can take a fact that is an absolute thing and come to a different conclusion than you do.
But do that make it right?
It makes it a different conclusion.
No,
What you're talking about is absolutes. You're saying this, what you're saying, and I understand that. You're saying this fact is absolute. This is true. There's no doubt about it. This is a true fact. Okay, somebody comes along and has an opinion that's different than yours. You say they're wrong. Well, of course you know.
Let me ask you this. Do any, like what you're saying, can somebody else come with another fact and have their other fact?
That man is ignorant. You don't know what a fact is from an opinion.
There's no saying that you're entitled to your opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. You're entitled to your own opinion, but a fact is a fact.
You're ignorant, arrowhead.
And if you,
I'm trying to understand you.
Okay, let me.
He's ignorant. You ain't gonna be able to talk to an ignorant person.
It don't mean it's true.
If I come to you with
Your opinion.
But that man right there is
true
dumb. What
fact,
you
I
tell you?
bring documents to you to prove what I'm saying. I bring numbers that shows that the document is right. So I'm bringing 3 or 4 proven,
Okay,
written.
all right, I got you.
Okay.
What you're saying is what I'm telling you, Harry, is 100% true. I've got documented. It's documented. This is true, and I say, okay, I accept the fact that is 100% documented. That fact is absolutely true, 100%. I have no problems with that. Here's where you and I don't seem to communicate very well. That 100% absolute fact, whatever it is, has 2 sides. Everything always has 2 sides. And there are people that can look at a fact and come to this conclusion, same fact, 100%, no, and then a person on another side can come to a different conclusion. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not denying your fact. I'm saying you can come to different conclusions.
Okay, but see, there it goes again. If it ain't conclusion, it's opinion. That's what coming.
That's where you and I always
That's what you said.
disagree. No, I disagree with you. You're saying that here's what, and if this is wrong, you can tell me it's wrong. Okay. Here's what I hear you say. You're saying that this is a fact, and this is the conclusion that fact brings, so you can have no other conclusion because that's the only one based on this fact, and that is untrue. There's always 2 sides to everything. And listen, thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, sure there is. There's always 2 sides to everything. And sometimes there's 20 sides to everything.
Let me just say this last thing.
All right, sure, absolutely.
When you have time to just talk, filibuster, when you have time to filibuster, give me why you have certain men that's calling into your show that's trying to speak truth and they're thought of as being crazy. Give me
not true. I can
This first. And like you're talking about this morning about 29, the hospitals and things. Will you be here in 29? Huh? Will this world, will living in Alamance County and things, will they exist in 29? The way you people are doing. You see? One is on this side. Listen to what I'm fixing to say now. One is on this side, one's on the other side, and one's talking about blacks, and one's talking about whites, and one's talking about China. You see what I'm saying? But nobody this morning is talking about God. You see what I'm saying? You done took the things out of the schools and things for your children of God. This is what Satan wants. He gets your children, he got you. You see what I'm saying? Listen, Lucifer, if you read the Bible, Jim's always talking about the Bible, but if you read the Bible, you will find out that Lucifer was one of God's angels. You see what I'm saying? And Lucifer wanted God's kingdom. He still do. You see what I'm saying? And in the Garden of Eden, there was good and evil. And the woman corrupted it by what she did. And now you got Satan, good, evil, and everything in him, and then you got the good. This is the reason God didn't want you to mess with the forbidden fruit. You see what I'm saying? That's why. And these children and things that come forward was a pestilence put upon the woman by God Almighty. You can say what you want to, but it's right down to God. It's right down the Bible. Right there. All you got to do is just read it. Your punishment is that you shall bring forth children in this world in great sorrow, and you've been doing it from the beginning, and you're going to do it till the end. He tells you this. Until the grave, the dust that you came from, till the dust you shall return. You understand what I'm saying? And you can't change this, and you're talking about the Old Testament. And you're so educated, and you're so fine, and all this, and you got all these degrees and things. Let me tell you something that you don't know. You understand what I'm saying? You are not going to turn nothing around that God has said. You, Jim, me, my children, nobody else is going. Vengeance is mine, says God. Listen to me. I'm a jealous God. This is what he's saying, not me. He can be jealous. I don't like what you just did. I don't like what you just said about Donald Trump, him being so great. What about me? This is God speaking, not me. He's a jealous God. You see what I'm saying? You're talking about what you're going to do in 29. You ain't going to do nothing. You're talking about these nations and things that, listen, they've been fighting on camels and mules and things in Jerusalem, Israel, and everywhere else ever since the beginning of time. That's not none of God's favorite people. Do you know who God's favorite people is if you had sense enough to read the Bible? These God's favorite people are Adam and Eve. These two people that he created. You understand? One from a rib and one from the dust. This is what the Bible reads, but you don't have sense enough to understand it. You understand what I'm saying? This is what it is. The woman is of the rib of man. That's the reason it's woman. You see what I'm saying? And the man is of the dust of the ground that God breathed breath in, and he become a living soul. This is what the Bible says. You people are not reading that, and Jim says that he's teaching Sunday school. Then, Jim, you should teach this. You see, sort of teaching about Biden and Trump. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're not going to change God. This is what you people are trying to do by your homosexuals. Listen, there should be no homosexuals. There should be no lesbians. You understand what I'm saying? There should be murderers and killers and all kinds of things like this on account of man's misleading by things. You understand what I'm saying? And listen, you're talking about the New Testament and the Old Testament. There was no 10 Commandments in the New Testament of God. This is the reason God brought the 10 Commandments to save man from his own self. If you read the Bible, it'll come to you. You see what I'm saying? And you will be taught the Word of God, and this will stop.
I wish y'all knew the real truth. That is not the real truth, that Bible. That's all y'all got, so that's all y'all know.
You're reading this filth. This people's writing for you.
Because homosexuality is not no sin. Y'all need to get that part right too. You're ignorant.
So Satan can get your children. And if you think Satan don't exist, then God don't exist. You understand? Satan has been after God's kingdom ever since he wanted it. You see what I'm saying? He took Jesus Christ and put him up on a pedestal and told him, said, listen, all this is yours, you can see if you will worship me. But Jesus told him, I got only one God. Could you do that? No. And this is the reason why I tell you, don't press yourself to say, I'm going to be here in 29. Will God destroy you? I'm a jealous God. That's who I am. That's what he says. Listen, your airplanes are still falling. You got all kind of diseases and things. You're still killing and going on. The man just killed the woman and her husband. You see what I'm saying? And it's going to keep on happening. You see what I'm saying? But not because God's got nothing to do with that. That's you. The people are still wicked, and the wicked, the candle of the wicked shall be snuffed out. Now, you can have a good morning and say what you want to about me, but I know exactly who God is. Now, have a good morning.
Appreciate it. 222-9224. 222-9224. Graham Sporting Goods.
That outdated church age was in the era of Pisces. Okay, that was in the 3D. We are now in the 5D with the age of knowledge, of true knowledge, okay? So, that Bible and the truth is not going to coincide very well, even though some of the Bible is true, some of it you don't even know the half. So there's a lot more to that Bible than you think it is, and knowledge you need. And homosexuality is not a sin. Oh my God, y'all just don't know how messed up y'all are. How y'all have been brainwashed with this European narrative that Constantine and those did in 325 AD. You just don't have no clue what all that entailed and how many years they went through changes with that, changing the Bible. Lord, y'all just don't know.
Another day in the neighborhood. Looks like beautiful day, matter of fact. It's gonna be hot though. We're gonna be just fine.
Well, good.
Did the tax collectors raise the taxes on the tariff?
Yeah.
Did they pass? What they pass? I didn't. I missed it somehow.
Well, it would depend on who you're talking about. I mean, each one of the cities have taxes. The county has taxes.
Well, on the county side, what was the word?
Well, they're gonna raise your taxes right at 4 cents, 3 cents.
4
3
cents.
no 3 cents. They had asked Carter asked for 4 and they settled on 3. But that's sort of not a done deal because they are being pursued by the ABSS because ABSS can through state law say they didn't give them enough money. They gave them about a little over 70% of what they asked for, and they said that's not enough. So they're going to go to what they call mediation, and they're going to have a decision. So they may have to, get more money from you. I don't know. We don't know how that's going to work out.
Evidently, it don't matter. It ain't never enough. How much money you got to put in the kitty before them people downtown are happy?
Well, I think you're right. I'm not convinced that anybody's ever completely happy about whatever the tax rate is. There's always going to be some people that are unhappy because it's not high enough, or some people that it's not low enough. So nobody's going to be happy. Happiness is not what they're seeking. What they're seeking is what's the most we can raise without having people yelling and screaming at us. That's what they're looking for.
Well, what's the most they can raise? Well, that makes perfect sense. Well, everybody out there needs to remember the names of them on the board come election time. Everybody needs to remember who said yes, let's do it. Now, I'm still stuck on this thing about them not doing their job down there. Now, you got all these people that work for Alamance County in the tax department. You got a lot of them. And they're not looking, the way I see it, they're not looking to take anything away. They're just looking to add to the mound. That's all they want to do is make the hill a little bit higher, make the taxpayer pay more. That's what they want, And it's easier to do it that way because if you do it that way, if we just raise the taxes on some harebrained idea, if we just raise the taxes, we won't have to sit here and do paperwork. We won't have to spend money on the class learning how to reevaluate the county taxes and find out where the money's going. We won't have to do that. We can just sit around and socialize and take it easy. And, we just come in, do our little bitty thing once or twice a month, and then we just sneak on back out and we're happy. We ain't had to actually do no work, So that's just what I think. They're not taking care of the book. When one book gets full, they just push that one over to the side and start on a new one. But they don't want to go back and look at the old book and say, well, now, wait a minute. We're not doing it anymore. How come we let that money go? Let's put it back in the system. That's not what they're doing. We don't. What does the county serve you other than, if you call the police, they might come out. If you call the ambulance, they will come out. And they will send you a bill. And if you call the fire department, you're liable to get a bill from them. Even though everybody is paying for the fire department. Because you got paid people in all these districts, and they got to have their money for their salary, so they charge you taxes. So you paying for the fire department. If you got trash pickup in the county, you paying for that. The county's not providing it to you. Now they may have a dump site over here somewhere where you can go throw your trash in if you know where it's at. But other than that, what service do they offer
That's right.
you in the county? Most people in the county got their own wells, got their own septic tanks. They don't have to worry about water and sewer. They've been living that way for 50 years, and everything's just fine. Now, all of a sudden, we've got to have another tax raise. Who are we keeping up?
how much are we keeping up? How much social services is costing us a year? Now, how come they don't cut back on social services? Go in there and say, look, okay, you've been on social services for 2 years or 3 years or whatever the case is. You got 5 kids. You're getting all this money every month. When you gonna get a job? When you gonna go to work? When you gonna be independent? Do it on your own instead of riding on the taxpayer's back. You know? I mean, is that not a legitimate question to ask the council board?
Absolutely.
Terry?
Absolutely. There are lots of, my question is, okay, so you need more money. My question has always been, okay, have you looked at things, which is what you just said, look at things that you can cut back on. Look at the stuff that we do. Oh, no, we can't cut back on anything. Yes, you can. They just don't want to. So taxes continue to go up. Either one of two things usually happen. We might get a 1 cent reduction every 20 years. A half a cent, a quarter of a cent. But most of the time we get either no increase or an increase. It doesn't go the other way. I think it's possible to go the other way. They just don't do it. All right, appreciate it. Thank you. You have a good day now.
All right, thank you.
Take care. 222-9224. Let me tell you about the Tire Center of Burlington. The Tire Center of Burlington, located in downtown Church Street and Maple Avenue downtown. Great place to go if you need car service or tire. They have all the major brands of tires, Cooper and Continental and Toyo, B.F. Goodrich and Firestone, Dunlop and Michelin, Uniroyal, Yokohama, Kelly, Bridgestone, Goodyear, General, Swelly, and many others. Those are just a few of the brands. You need one, or you need a set of tires, so you need
Well, let me tell you exactly what happened with the tax increase. It wasn't 3 cents, 2.5 cents. Now, here's the funny thing. I was at our meeting. And so, there were 3 commissioners that wanted to help fund the schools, just not, they couldn't get all they asked for. But the county actually had flat, or $10 million under their operating budget what they had last year. They were going to cut them from what they got last year. Now, this is not money for teacher supplement increases or anything. Okay, they just cut their budget. Well, then they took $10 million out of fund balance and put it back in the budget to try to get as close as they could to flat. No budget increase. Well then, so, you're at the meeting and they're trying to figure out how they can give us bump. So one commissioner proposed a 4-cent tax increase. Well, that didn't last very long. And then, so they got down to a 2 cent. And then, of course, there's 2 of them with no vote for any increase in tax. And then the others finally settled out at 2.5 cents. Well, after they voted, one commissioner says, well, now they're going to give us teacher supplement increase. The county manager said no. And what do you mean no? The 2.5 cents that they taxed us didn't go to the school. Only 1/2 of 1 cent is going to the school, which is $1.3 million, which would put them back at their budget they were last year with no increase, no new positions, no raise, no supplement increase, and no supplement for classified personnel. So they're right back. They were right back where they started last year. So they get no increase in budget. But guess who got the other 2 cents worth, which is about over $5 million? It went to the county. The county took it. You just can't believe this. So here we voted for a 2.5 cent tax increase, and 3 out of 5 voted to do it, thinking they were going to help the school system, but they didn't. The county took the money. So who raised the tax? The county or the school system? The county. The county ended up getting the money. All they got was 1.3 million, which got them back to where the budget they were last year. I mean, this is, I mean, and then, you know, Commissioner Thompson says, you mean we didn't get nothing for the teachers? Like, no. It's flat. And that's what spared this situation with the school system wanting to have mediation with the county. Because, you know, what was happening is, you know, everybody starts hollering, the school system caused our taxes to go up 2.5%. No, they didn't. It looks like they did. It sounded like it was, but it wouldn't. That's the exact truth. I mean, I had been on the phone, people calling me, you know, and they raised their tax 2.5 cents because, you know, the schools. They didn't. They raised the 2.5 cents thinking it was going to help the schools, but it didn't. It helped the county. And so, you know, folks, this is what I'm talking about. You know, you're sitting there and you know, the county manager's telling us, break this down to a T. You know, and you know, when you get done voting, she says, okay, no, their budget is flat. Their budget's flat. We are going to give them $1.3 million out of that 2.5 cents to put back in to their budget to make them flat. Okay? But the rest of it comes to the county. So, you know, that's the thing. It's always, the school system is the little stepchild. You know, you're going to raise this budget in the county. You know, budgets have gone up in the county for last year. You got to go up because you get pay raises and all kinds of stuff, you know. I mean, you got to have more money the next year. But nobody wants to sit there and admit why this has happened. I knew it was going to happen. I told you it was going to happen. You cannot not value your properties right, cut the tax rate, and then expect to get more money. Because you end up with a huge shortfall in commercial property tax revenue. And now we're sitting here. We started out at 43 cents, 43.2. Now we're up to like 49. And next year we're going to go up again. Let's go up again. I mean, it's going to keep happening until you get this rebound fixed. So that's why I'm saying some of these projects that the county wants to do that aren't, is a want rather than a need, like the money to renovate the building, the old building over there we owned for years, it's been empty for years, on Martin Street, to move the inspections department, which is a perfectly fine building down there next to the Graham Recreation Center. Just put that on hold. Put it on hold until after the rebound. Then let's see what we get with increased tax revenue after the rebound. You know, you just got to scrape by until that rebound's done. And if you don't, you are going to be short every year. You're going to be short. You're going to have inflation, and you're going to have the fact that you didn't collect the right amount of tax. And I mean, I don't know why they just don't step up to the plate and tell the Alamance County citizens, look, we messed up. We have undervalued our commercial property, and it is called a revenue shortfall. And we can't fix it until the next rebound. So we have got to figure out a way to get through this, because we can't go back to the business and say, hey, we need to raise your taxes, we did it wrong. And once you do it, it's done. You can't change it until the next rebound. So, I mean, people don't know. You know, just understand this is why this is happening. It was going to happen, whether you wanted it to or not. Because you can't give $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 tax decreases to Lowe's and Walmart and, you know, and all these big box stores and some of the bigger stores that aren't big box stores, some of the new businesses that came in here to get the values wrong. You can't give discounts to them because that's going to create a revenue shortfall because they're paying less than they was before the rebound.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You just can't do it. You're going to be short of money, and it's going to be an every year thing until the rebound because inflation is going to cause you to have to go up and cause you to have more money, and you would have had the money You probably could have brought the tax rate down below 43 when it started if you'd have collected the right amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't.
All right.
And, that's the whole problem. I mean, but don't blame it on the schools, because this 2.5 cent tax increase was not for the schools.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, they thought it was, but the three that voted for it thought it was, but it wasn't.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I don't think we need to blame it on anybody. What we need to do is figure out. I always feel the same way about the school system. What do they need? They said that their budget this year was an expansion budget because they had some things they had to deal with because of, many of the difficulties that the school system has is the money that they had to spend for the mold remediation.
Dave, how's life treating you?
Doing great.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
so far, the United States is not at war with Iran, and that's a good thing. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I think it's a good thing. I think that Israel, Netanyahu said that they were, going to take care of the things that they needed to take care of, and I think that since Israel is the one fighting with them, if somebody's going to take care of them, it needs to be Israel, not us. That doesn't mean we can't help.
Well, we've tried to help. It's just the thing is they don't have the sophisticated equipment that we have built. Talking specifically about the bunker buster bomb. But what do you think about the Iranian regime? Ever since the mullahs have took over, and those are the priests of that country, and they have run the country by, I can't quite pronounce the word, law.
Sharia law.
The Sharia. I didn't mean to say sorry, but that's as close as I could come. Since you said it right. And, for a long time, the United States run the United States by the Bible, by the law of the Bible. Now, they run it by other kind of things. But I don't have any problem with their religion until it comes down to where they preach that you have to either convert everybody else to be in their faith, or you're allowed to kill them. And God is supposed to be the head of their religion. They use Muhammad as the prophet. But I don't know of anywhere where God asks you to kill people in his name. Do you know anywhere in the Bible it says that? Maybe you know more about the Bible than I do. What do you think?
All y'all white people in Alamance County got together and go kill me in the name of Jesus, in the name of the Joint European Slave Unionship, and I know that. So don't come with that shit.
If that's what they want to do, but they shouldn't try to make other folks do that. But it's the same thing in this country. We have freedom of religion. That means that if you don't agree with what that person over there is saying about religion, that you don't have to go along with it. In Iran, it's not like that. They want you to either go along with it or die is what they want. They'll get leave, go away. In their own country, they have the right to do that, but they don't have the right to tell anybody else to do that, and they don't have the right to leave there and go kill people because they're not doing what they want them to do. That's the problem that I've got with it. If that's what you're going to do, you must be stopped.
In other words, they don't have the right to forcefully push their religion on people that don't want it.
Correct.
Well, that's the old saying, if you don't remember history, you're condemned to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You on the
First
3D.
World
You
War,
are on the
the
ignorant side of
Germans wanted
history.
this,
You are
Germans
ignorant.
wanted that.
And I'm not going to
They
tolerate
went
it.
and
You
took
are
it.
listening to the white man
And what happened?
in a white
The
country.
good old United
Of course
States
he
of
wants to
America
go by
had
his
to
Bible
come
that
and
they
save
wrote.
everybody's butt. And then the Second World War come along. And the same thing happened, but this time you had the world's worst bully, and that was Hitler. And he blamed all of their problems, all of Germany's problems, on the Jews. He used them as a scapegoat. And people are real bad about finding scapegoats to blame their problems. And what happened then? He took over half of the world. And what did the United States do?
Took over the other
In the
half.
name of freedom. And not just freedom for you and for me. Freedom for the whole world from tyranny. From being pushed in to do something. And whether that's a different religion or, what kind of spinach you can eat, that's not right to being pushed into anything. And we went and got him. And millions of people died. And then what did we have after this? We had freedom for most of the world until the communists come in. And all the countries that they took over, they didn't want to leave. And then there was a Cold War fight for all these years. And the worst thing is, sitting on your hands and preaching about something, most times don't get the bullies off your back. And they don't get the bullies off your neighbor's back. And it don't get the bullies off the rest of the world's back. And the United States has to step up and put the wood to them. And that's my opinion on what needs to be done to the mullahs. They have spread death and destruction and terrorism all over the world in the name of their religion.
In the name of Jesus.
And, I've never spoke to God.
Christianity
I
and
hope to get to
slavery.
speak good to one of these days.
Shut up, you
When I go to
goddamn hypocrite.
That I am sure in my heart He's not told them to murder all of these people. All of them Israelis that they murdered in cold blood. They murdered them in the name of their religion.
What about the ones y'all brought on here on the
if
Joint
we don't
European
put a
Slave
stop
Union
to it,
ship,
and
and
there's
they
nobody
suffered at the
else
bottom
in
of
the
that
world that
ship
can
and died before they got over
stop
here?
it. I was sitting there watching
Y'all done that to
Trump
billions
last
of them.
night, and he wasn't talking about a ceasefire.
They were jealous of you. Let me tell you something. Thank God that He removed that person up out of your life. Thank God that He removed that friend, that He removed that man, that He removed that woman, that He removed those family members, that He removed you and placed you and got you up out of those environments. Do you understand what I'm saying? Thank God. Let me tell you something. That man or whoever it is, that woman, these people, they left you for dead. Stop caring about them. Stop praying for them. These people, these friends, these phonies, these fakes, these foes, these adversaries, they pray, they wish, they envy, they evil eye on your downfall, wanted you to fall, wanted you to fail, prayed about it, sent in people to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? In secret competition, but felt like in the midst of the competition, they had to sit up here and sabotage you. Paid to ruin you, ruin your reputation, come for your character, come for your livelihood. Let me tell you something. People thought it was funny to joke you, say what you took. You know what I'm saying? What you allowed. You ain't had no common sense. You ain't had no street smarts. Other women, other men who weren't in your position, right? Who probably weren't done like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody went through something. Felt like they could add their 2 cents in on your situation because they felt like they were better than you. Felt they they could laugh at you behind your back. They were better than you. Everybody trying to one up. Everybody trying to be better. Everybody trying to talk somebody's situation till they going through their own shit. I keep telling you, be mindful of who you talk about. That person's transgressions and struggles could be yours of what you go through months down the line or a year down the line, probably next week. God don't like ugly, boo, and he ain't too fond of cute. I just want you to know that when you out here going around letting other people talk shit about people, you out here paying for people's demise, praying on somebody's downfall and thought it was funny. You had to let some people go because they was envious of you. The second that they came in contact with you, they knew who you were. You got to, when God is giving you a chance at life again, praying on somebody's downfall and thought it was funny. You had to let some people go because they was envious of you. The second that they came in contact with you, they knew who you were. You got to, when God is giving you a chance at life again, and he's giving you a chance to learn a lesson, because understand something, these people were lessons, even though they looked at you and viewed you as a job, as an assignment, as a come up. I'm saying something. God is orchestrating things in your life, which is why you are here. No one can talk about your transgressions, what you went through, what you allowed, and think that the shit is funny, because if they was in your shoes, they would have handled it and came out the way that you did. So it's something unique and special about you. It's some kind of force or power that's protecting you. Oh, okay. I keep telling you, sometimes God is allowing things to happen, and he had to allow it to happen because people were second guessing and questioning your belief, his power. They mocked you.
Yeah, they mock me. Here I am trying to save their life, and they gonna take mine. That's what you call a damn fool. And my family members are damn fools. Those church members are ignorant as hell on the joint European slave union ship, dumb as fuck, getting ready to get blowed up. That's how dumb they are. They believe everything a white fucker tell them. Whew. They don't know their oppressor. They don't know the oppressor.
Belief, his power. They mocked you because they saw how you were living. They saw what was happening, and they say, he out here still talking about God.
Well, you just believe that. You just believe that. You stupid. You retarded. You going to a mental institution.
They think you knew shit. They think it was valid. They didn't think it stood for anything because of what you was going through. They're going to have to stand on that. Telling people...
Yeah, they're going to stand for that. They're going to pay for that shit.
God got a lot
they ignored the prophet of the Most High, and they're going to pay for that.
For him to jog people's memory. You know what I'm saying? For him to reiterate who he is. Huh? What? Oh, okay. What? For him to remind people of his position. Who he is, who he be. And so for that, sometimes people got to see. So, yeah, you fell down.
No, that was divinely orchestrated. It wasn't no fall down. That was divinely orchestrated, baby.
And all these foes, all these adversaries, all these exes, all these people went up against you. Friends talked about you behind your back. You'll never know. They'll never tell you.
Oh, hell no. They cowards. They church demons. I'm going to call them what the fuck they are. Church demons.
People, they thought you didn't know. You knew where your blessings came from. God had already shown you who these people were. Now, when these people have to come back and ask you for advice, or ask you for this, or need you on this, or looking at your life, they're looking at your life and they're using it as a blueprint to their life. Now, why do that for somebody who you once said was incredible? Why do that for someone of whom you mocked because of what they went through and what they allowed and how they kept taking falls up in their life? For every great downfall that you took was for every miraculous comeback that God allowed you to have. And that's why Mary had a little lamb, features white snow. Play with it, don't play with me. I'm sure that 305 Kingway Project. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Always keep it real.
Yes, keep it real.
You can't go against what I'm saying. Even though you don't like the messenger, you can't shoot down the message.
That's right. It comes from the Most High.
Going through something. Everybody got a pass. Everybody has been the fool.
And we have to go on our personal journey to get there.
But how you end up. So these are people who not only laughed at you for what you didn't have, laughed for where you was at in your life. They secretly wanted you to stay there, knowing, even though they knew that you were supposed to be destined for greater, for more. This abundant energy that you had, this goddess-like energy that you possess. You know what I'm saying? It scared a lot of people. A lot of people was intimidated. A lot of people was fearful of you. So you had all of these groups of people wishing on your downfall. Even people that didn't even know you like that. All of these people once came and said some mess about you. They had people who they was working with. They had people who was coming back giving them a bone talking about you. Now all these young people feeling bad. Feeling bad about what? This day? You understand what I'm saying? I got my own. It is what it is. I'm providing for my son. I'm speaking my story. Wherever people try to have me, I'm not there. That's why when you're looking for me, I'm not there.
Exactly, baby.
You're looking for me in the
Exactly.
You're looking for me in the dumpsters. You looking for me to be dead somewhere. You trying to call us to figure out the obituaries. Is she dead yet? God gonna keep reviving me because I'm not a bad person. I go around and I try to help people. That movie, The Straw, with Taraji P. Henson. I could barely get through that movie, but I got through the movie. You know what I'm saying? The movie The Straw with Taraji P. Henson. I could barely get through that movie, but I got through the movie. You know what I'm saying? Even though she was on her last leg, she still gave Sinbad, the homeless man, money. And that man came through for her. Said, you know what? She didn't have it. But she was making sure that that's the type of person I am. And people got to keep feeling like they got to knock me down to nothing in order to feel good about themselves. And then they don't want people to know the truth. That they out here, it don't matter about what you do to one, and then you ain't doing it to the next one. That one that you did it to didn't deserve it. So why did you do it to him? Why did you treat him like that? You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I say this to say, man, go watch that movie if you can. The world is a wicked place. But I keep telling you, I really feel like it ain't gonna get no better. So you gotta hold your stance. You gotta continue to believe in God, because let me tell you something. It's gonna be more people like that, like her. More Tarajis. You know what I'm saying? That get their back put up against the wall. They got people just gunning for them. The police didn't have to come at her like that. The people in the bank didn't have to be so snobby and pushed off and standoffish like that. Her boss didn't even have to do her like that. I was like, my God, this must be a win. I mean, I know we got people, but you got jobs, now that understand that people got kids. And the thing is, she was, you know, she didn't know her daughter was already dead. Y'all go watch the movie. I ain't finna tell, but where people thought they left you at, they looking for you there and you're not there. And now they confused. They wanted to be, they was jealous of you, didn't want you to have what God slated you for. And all I'm gonna tell you is hashtag speak your story. Speak your story. Tell your story.
You will remember my name. I'm the one who beat you at your game.
Let's not get too far off what we're talking about here. Again, anything that you have been through in the past, this person was behind the scenes trying to block you here, okay? Again, so they can take this information back to the courts here and make you look a certain way. This person has been making calls here. Okay, they're like going before you. If you're putting applications in on Indeed here, this person is pulling strings to block you from this here. Okay, again, when it comes to these secret societies, when it comes to these organizations here, it's like an octopus here. Okay, they have a lot of ways of going about blocking people from ascending, from upgrades here. Okay. Child, these people are exposed here. This is thetruth.com here, all right? Child, I'm talking, this person has been going hard in the paint here. Okay. Yeah, you could be dealing with the Cancer, feminine energy here. The cops could be coming for a mother figure here. What is this? Okay. What is this? Okay. 9 of Cups energy here, right? Hot mess. Yeah, Virgo in the reverse here. Okay. If anything, yeah, High Priestess at the top of the day. If anything, this person is out on the knowledge here because they don't know who the hell you are. Okay. I'm here not like us. This person is not like you, okay? Like, seriously, somebody needs to go about their life here. Okay, what's going to be happening in the near future with this person here? Queen of Swords in the reverse here, okay? Loneliness, isolation here. All right, there's more exposure surrounding this masculine energy. Again, I'm getting a leader of some sort here, okay? Something is coming in the near future in regards to a lie. There's a Virgo here. Could be a feminine Virgo here who also chimed in with a bunch of lies here. All right. This person is coming up as a misfit here. Okay. High Priestess at the top of the day. This is you coming up in this high priestess energy here. Yeah, you're well aware of the five of swords with the 4 of cups here. Again, there is betrayal behind rejections that happened in the past here, okay? That left you out in the cold here, okay? Somebody wanted to make it look as though you were irresponsible here, all right? Especially when it comes to finances here and your livelihood. But there was a betrayal. There was a plot, plan, scheme, and strategy behind you being rejected from jobs, places to stay here, okay? It was this person. A cancer could be significant here, okay? Something that's going to be short-lived for this cancer here, because they were in the 9 of Cups and then the 10 of Swords energy here. I've been seeing that shift a lot. 9 of Pentacles to the 9 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles to the 10 of Wands energy here. Like, things are changing overnight, okay, for these people that have been manipulating, attempting to manipulate your life behind the scenes. And let's not forget, that we needed to learn, okay, in that moment, in that season here, okay? High Priestess with the 9 of Pentacles energy here. Show. 9 of Wands energy here. Like, these people are always in a scramble here, okay? When it comes to your knowledge here, all right? Like, somebody's always trying to debunk you, okay? A lot of drama is going on behind the scenes, a lot of drama.
I was sent by the Most High to give a word to the black race, but they rejected it. And now, here we are. They stole everything I have. They made my life a living hell for years. It's just been miserable for years. My health has been compromised. I can't digest food right from the poisonings. It's just been horrible. Had it not been for the Lord on my side, I would not be here today, because they would have killed me. Looking at me. I know y'all were looking at me. I don't care. I ain't got nothing to hide.
This person has been relentless
I have nothing
here.
to hide.
Absolutely
I'm tired of the
relentless.
Most High God.
Concerned about your DNA upgrade.
And I'm here on a mission.
Go feed your kids.
Yes, I am.
Go cut the grass. All right?
The truth will set you
It's
free.
ridiculous. 7 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups here. Somebody's trying to think about how they can come in with an offer here. Okay, come in wearing a mask here. Like, what the hell? Also, somebody's been plotting on your offers here. 7 of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles here. I feel like somebody is taking some time to reflect here, okay? Somebody's had a lot of tricks up their sleeve here, okay?
Stand there. Shout out to my bro Ty. But you, Chosen. You gotta go for your passions. You gotta go for your goals. You gotta keep going when you don't see nobody else supporting you. You got peace and prosperity. You know, I got a special prayer for you. I say, man, the Most High say, nobody can stop you in this season but you. You gotta keep your head up high, even when things ain't working out in your favor right now. Remember, whatever you're going through is only temporary. It's only temporary, sis. It's only temporary, bro. A lot of this stuff is only meant to make you become a better version of you. Just think about it. If you never would have went through those trials and tribulations, if you never would have felt that heartbreak or that pain, you wouldn't be able to heal the things that was bothering you, or you never would have been able to heal like you needed to, Chosen. A lot of this stuff is only meant to make you become a better version of you. Just think about it. Like you needed to, Chosen. Because a lot of your chakras was blocked due to the way that you love somebody, due to what happened to you in the past. You had to revisit it just so you can heal it, Chosen. Just so you can heal it. And I'm going to keep it real. Somebody definitely trying to silence you. Somebody trying to silence you, because I was speaking very clearly before I even got on this message. And it's like somebody trying to block my throat chakra. So a lot of you guys definitely had spells done on your throat chakra where they was trying to silence you for speaking about what happened to you. But I need you to keep speaking truthfully and freely, unapologetically, Chosen. Somebody trying to silence you, because I was speaking very clearly before I even got on this message. You never would be able to heal like you needed to, Chosen. The way that you love somebody, due to what happened to you in the past, you had to revisit it just so you can heal it, Chosen. Like you needed to, Chosen. Because a lot of your chakras was blocked due to the way that you love somebody, due to what happened to you in the past. You had to revisit it just so you can heal it, Chosen. Just so you can heal it. And I'm gonna keep it real. Somebody definitely trying to silence you.
Hot mess. Yeah, Virgo in the reverse here, okay? If anything, yeah, High Priestess at the top of the day. If anything, this person is out on the knowledge here because they don't know who the hell you are, okay? I'm here not like us. This person is not like you, okay? Like, seriously, somebody needs to go about their life here. Okay, what's going to be happening in the near future with this person here? Queen of Swords in the reverse here, okay? Loneliness, isolation here. All right, there's more exposure surrounding this masculine energy. Again, I'm getting a leader of some sort here, okay? Something is coming in the near future in regards to a lie. There's a Virgo here. Could be a feminine Virgo here who also chimed in with a bunch of lies here, all right? This person is coming up as a misfit here, okay? High Priestess at the top of the day. This is you coming up in this High Priestess energy here. Yeah, you're well aware of the Five of Swords with the Four of Cups here. Again, there's betrayal behind rejections that happened in the past here, okay? That left you out in the cold here, okay? Somebody wanted to make it look as though you were irresponsible here, all right? Especially when it comes to finances here and your livelihood. But there was a betrayal. There was a plot, plan, scheme, and strategy behind you being rejected from jobs, places to stay here. Okay, it was this person. A Cancer could be significant here. Okay, something that's going to be short-lived for this Cancer here, because they were in the Nine of Cups and then the Ten of Swords energy here. I've been seeing that shift a lot. Nine of Pentacles to the Nine of Swords, Nine of Pentacles to the Ten of Wands energy here. Like, things are changing overnight, okay, for these people that have been attempting to manipulate your life behind the scenes. And let's not forget that we needed to learn, okay, in that moment, in that season here, okay? High Priestess with the Nine of Pentacles energy here. Show. Knight of Wands energy here. Like, these people are always in a scramble here, okay? When it comes to your knowledge here, all right? Like, somebody's always trying to debunk you, okay? A lot of drama is going on behind the scenes, a lot of drama.
I was sent by the Most High to give a word to the black race, but they rejected it. And now, here we are. They stole everything I have. They made my life a living hell for years. It's just been miserable for years. My health has been compromised. I can't digest food right from the poisonings. It's just been horrible. Had it not been for the Lord on my side, I would not be here today, because they would have killed me. Because they tried so many times.
This person has been relentless here. Absolutely relentless. He is concerned about your DNA upgrades. Why? Go feed your kids. Okay, go cut the grass. All right? Like, it's ridiculous. Seven of Pentacles, Nine of Cups here. Somebody's trying to think about how they can come in with an offer here. Okay, come in wearing a mask here. Like, what the hell? Also, somebody's been plotting on your offers here. Seven of Pentacles with the King of Pentacles here. I feel like somebody is taking some time to reflect here, okay? Somebody's had a lot of tricks up their sleeve here, okay? Yeah, and that ass is about to fall here, okay? King of Pentacles to the Five of Pentacles here. Somebody's been coming up with all these ways, avenues that they can get you in this Five of Pentacles in lack, in poverty here, okay? This is someone who has more than enough, all right? But greed. These people are fueled by greed here, okay? Again, somebody is already sitting as the king on a hill here, the King of Pentacles energy here, all right? This person's bills are paid, okay? You know, they got money put up, but they want more. Somebody wants your inheritance here. They want your property. They want your estates here, okay? And they've been going hard to convince the world. Like somebody took on one hell of a task. They've been going hard to convince the world that you're unworthy of everything that is owed to you here, okay? This person has no right to be trying to play God in your life here, okay? That ass is about to be set down, all right? Ten of Swords energy with the Eight of Pentacles here, all this hard work here, okay? Something is about to be completely shut down, all right? This person has no right to be trying to play God in your life here, okay? That ass is about to be set down, all right? Completely shut down here, all right? And this person's hands are not clean when it comes to their own affairs here, you know? Like somebody's a con man here, okay? Somebody has gotten their wealth out of a lot of fraud, maybe even insurance policies here. What's going on here? Yeah, Two of Pentacles energy here, okay? Now they're in the Two of Pentacles trying to figure it out, trying to weigh the pros and cons here because the Ten of Swords is coming. It's coming. Okay, right behind the Ten of Swords is the Six of Wands. I'm telling you, there's going to be an abrupt shift, almost like overnight here, okay? This is the Six of Wands here, right? That somebody has been in for an extremely long time. And even though it's not good enough for them here, they don't have the attitude of gratitude here, okay? They want to take from people who have way less than them here, okay? This person is a straight up devil. Ten of Swords. Abrupt shift from the Six of Wands to the Ten of Swords energy here, okay? Two of Pentacles energy. This person don't know what to do, all right? Somebody here is at a crossroad is what I'm getting. This person is at a distance here, all right? Yeah. The games that they're playing in this courtroom here, okay? Trying to manipulate your foundation here, okay, is what I'm getting. Someone is doing a lot of work on your home life because again they want things to be in an upset, okay? They want things to be chaotic for you so you look like a mess on paper and okay?
Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's not happening with the Strength card and the Four of Wands. That's not happening here, okay? It ain't happening, Captain, okay? Yeah, wanting somebody to be in lack here. Yeah, this Emperor energy here. I can't make it up with this Strength card. This person wants power over your life. And why? Why? What is it? What is the problem, dude? Is what I heard. Well, what is it would you do? Somebody could be saying this, like, what is really going on? Okay? Emperor with the Strength card here. You could be dealing with a masculine Leo here, but I'm getting power here with the Devil in the Tower at the bottom of the deck here. I can't make it up here. This person is about to go through a tower moment here. All this control and all this obsession here. All right. Somebody should have been got off your ass here. Okay. It's like this person is about to be exposed for their hidden agenda when it comes to you. There's also about to be a lot of exposure for their affairs, their personal affairs, how they became the king on the hill in the first damn place here, okay? Again, be mindful of people that want to come in here like a lover, you know? Yeah, they want to come in slow in the near future here. These people are very methodical here and they're patient, okay, in regards to, you know, executing a heist on somebody's timeline here, okay? Yeah, Ace of Swords. I can't make it up. Someone is planning to send somebody in, maybe in the next season, maybe in the fall, end of summer here, okay? Like somebody's trying to come slithering towards you with the Knight of Pentacles energy here. Yeah, King of Wands, okay? Somebody who looks damn good on the outside here, okay? Somebody they feel as though you can't resist, okay? This person also could have a lot of money. Somebody wants to be your handler here. They don't want, if they can't be your handler, they want somebody who works for them or that's connected to them to be your handler, is what I'm getting, right? But it's not going to happen with the Eight of Cups energy here. This person will be rejected here, all right, because you're not a fool, okay? This person's going to have to walk away. Yeah, Three of Swords energy with the Ace of Pentacles here. Yeah, somebody's heartbroken about not being able to establish this Ace of Pentacles here. That's not theirs. You know, it's mind-blowing how much time these criminals will put into trying to steal instead of trying to manifest off of their own energy. They don't want to do it, okay? And again, it says a lot about how they got where they're at in the first place here, okay? And this is why they're not letting up. Ace of Pentacles with the Three of Swords. Like, this person is actually heartbroken about not being able to steal or finesse this Ace of Pentacles from you here. Yeah, Sun card and the Judgment. Y'all, please, it's over for somebody's ass. Judgment, Sun card with the Ace of Pentacles here. Everyone is exposed. Everyone, all right? Everyone's exposed about the plan, the scheme, the plot, the cover-up behind this money here. Like, they truly heartbroken with the Three of Swords energy here. You got to be kidding me, okay? Somebody is going to be held back is what I'm seeing here. Like, held in place. Somebody's going to be stagnant wherever they're at. Okay, it could be a whole community with the Ten of Cups here. Somebody's going to be stagnant wherever they're at. Okay, it could be a whole community with the